Hey guys, Lisa here. I felt called just to come in and share a little bit of what's happening in Lisa Land. It has been an interesting week. Um, and I really feel called just to share because I feel that there's a lot of people going through similar to what I'm going through at the moment. And ultimately, as I'm stepping in more to my service here in Lisa Simon's Light, as I'm embodying my channel and my gifts, and really kind of stepping in more. It's like I almost have a foot in each world. I've just returned to uni. I'm in between my second and third year, and I can feel that the 3D of it is really, really bringing my learnings into these two areas. And it's not necessarily about uni or Lisa Simon's Light. It's about the me that I was and the me that I am becoming. It literally feels like I've got a foot in each door. Um, yeah, and it's quite a destabilizing feeling. It feels as though the things that I thought I knew, the things that felt safe in the past, the things that I felt certain of are changing and are shifting. And the things that I had expected to step into are very different to where I'm actually stepping into. So ultimately, I know that my 3D, this me, the actual me in this timeline, in this reality, in this life, is catching up to the energy, the 5D energy, or the energy, or whatever you want to call it. The shifts that I have had in the last 6 months are really starting to integrate and land into my 3D reality, me. Now, thankfully, my body is giving me some really cool tells, because ultimately what's happening is part of my spirit, part of my human can feel that I'm 1 foot there and 1 foot there, and they can feel that this part is shifting away in whatever that, ends up becoming, and that this part is starting to form. And there's parts of me deep inside that are feeling really scared, that are almost fragmented. It's really great. My team, I see a vision. They're telling me stop saying my team or, it's me. I see a vision of a version of me running around. And I drew this version yesterday, literally freaking out. And while it's only a small part, it's there. Anyway, there's another part of me that's deeply in grief for this life that I thought I was going to have. There's also excitement to counteract that with this life that I am having. However, it's still really important to honor the grief. So today I really want to talk about honoring the layers of what's coming, the layers of what's underneath. And I'm really great at pushing things a bit down. I'm getting so much better at it. But sometimes I feel like it's a muscle memory. I don't actually notice that all of this is happening underneath. And so this week, what started to happen, it started happening about a week and a half ago. I noticed I was waking up and I would be really tense in my mouth and my jaw. And then I started doing a tell that I have done previously in my life, and it's sucking of my bottom lip. I'm driving, in class, at home, in my sleep. And I'm really grateful for that sucking feeling, because I've learned it to the point this week where my whole jaw is in pain right now. It's like that sucking, because I haven't acknowledged those parts. My body is saying, Lise, there's stuff here to acknowledge. See me, feel me, witness me. And because I hadn't been doing that, and this wasn't right or wrong, this is part of my learning. My jaw had gotten tenser and tenser and tenser until yesterday I realized how sore it was. Yeah, it was yesterday morning that I was like, oh, wow, because I literally was sucking everything in. It's really sore as we speak. Now, part of me really wanted to sit down and just push through everything and acknowledge all those parts and, get to the other side. But I'm really feeling the need to take my time and to honor those parts, not dwell in them, but give them the time that they deserve. So I can feel right now in my human, while I look like really balanced and everything inside, there's parts of me that are freaking out. And this morning I sat with those parts and I asked them to come in, and it took me a while to find the stillness. Yeah, it took me a good 40 minutes of sitting there, just plugged into some hertz, breathing, to find the stillness, to invite them in. And what I found was I really wanted their story. I really wanted to know, oh, that part of me is sad because of this, and that part of me is angry because of this. And I found myself doing what I call excavating, digging, looking, rather than just seeing and noticing. And this is where I really noticed that part of I guess my history is that I've always explored the whys, and I've always come to understood this version of me is because of this, and I'm feeling this because of this. Whereas in this case, it wasn't serving me. Those parts simply needed to be acknowledged. They didn't need a giant story. They didn't need for me to dig or excavate. And it's like when you're sitting in a circle, or you're sitting in a classroom, and the teacher asks a question and then says, Lisa, what do you think? I instantly am like, what? But if they say, does anyone have the answer? Can I have a volunteer? I'll go, me, I know. And the same thing was happening deep inside of me. So by me going, which part of you? Why do you feel like that? What do you need? And really holding on to that story, it was making those parts shrink and really rigid. So thankfully, I found myself doing this, and I stopped. And I simply sat and I witnessed these parts as energy, not as good or bad or grief or anger or the labels that my ego wanted to put on them. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we need those labels. Sometimes they're really important. But for me right now, those labels weren't needed. They were, in fact, making that loop and making that making myself wrong go in a beautiful loop pattern. So this morning I really sat with each of those layers, and I felt the times I wanted to push and just get rid of them. And a lot of them are still there. And I've chosen this morning to be okay with that, to allow the grief to come when it comes, to allow my anger to come when it comes, to allow the stories that need to be heard and understood to come when they are ready, not before, and to honor the layers. There's a form of celebration too that I'm inviting in, to celebrate those layers and to celebrate where I have come from and where I am and where I'm heading to celebrate all the parts of me that have kept me safe, and to celebrate my body, even with this sore aching jaw. And it's great now because so I catch myself, right, with that muscle memory. Every now and then I find myself sucking the lip, and my first response is to go, oh, doing it again. And over the morning, what I've been doing is every time I catch it, it's an opportunity. It's a choice for me. I can either go, God, I'm doing it again, and make it wrong, or I can pause and I can breathe. And I can breathe in, down, deeper than my chest, down into my belly, down into my womb, and down into these parts. And I can relax my jaw and know that my jaw is sore, and that's okay. And so that's something that I'm really working on today and for the next few days and for however long it takes, rather than getting frustrated by it. Reminding myself that the 3D takes time to catch up. Reminding myself that I'm safe, that I'm supported, and that ultimately life is fucking awesome, right? Like even with one foot in each, even with the feelings of destabilization happening, when I take that breath, it brings me back into me. I'm also calling in a lot more support from my team right now. I'm asking my angels to come around me. I'm asking my light beings and my guides to come in closer. And I'm being beautifully supported by both of my grandparents at the moment, my nan and my grandma. It's really lovely to feel them with me. They've been here for a few days now, just hanging around, just being there. I can really feel their presence. helping me to express, helping me to let go, and helping me to feel loved and supported. So I really felt to come in and just share, if those of you out there have those tells in your body, that twitchy eye or that achy shoulder, or for me, that jaw, ask yourself or spend a moment with it, create the stillness, create the silence, and see what it has to communicate to you. Because our body, our 3D, it's such a wonderful gift to us. And it's so easy to go instantly to automatically like frustrated rather than what are you trying to convey to me? And honoring those parts of you that need honoring, because as many of you know out there, shit is changing rapidly, so quickly. We are evolving faster than we have ever evolved before. We are coming online. New blueprints are landing and timelines are ending, and it is such an amazing time. But we still have this beautiful 3D body that needs love, that needs honor. And the parts of ourselves that are freaking the fuck out need love and need honor. So I hope this video helps. And feel free to hit me up with a like or a share, and have a great weekend. Mwah!